Hi, this is Dr. Thirumalai Raja, Head Department of Civil Engineering from SNS College of Technology, Coimbatore. In the previous video, I have spelled out something about the Vastu and its importance for civil engineers. In addition to that, in this video, we are going to discuss about in what way this Vastu helps us in orientation of the building. So, before getting into any sorts of planning activity for any building, the first primary thing is the engineer has to visit the site and he has to understood where the north direction is there and where the east is there. So, with respect to the north and with respect to east and other two directions, we have to orient the building, how the building will comes out in the future. So, this is the first primary work. So, and the other important thing which we have to carry out in the site is to identify the north direction. So, nowadays we are having advanced compass with us. So, whatever it may be, but the thing is when we are going to use the compass in the site to identify the north, it won't gives us the exact, that is true north, because of some declination, that is due to some magnetic attraction. That particular compass may have some deviation from the true north. So there are few methods which is available with us, so that we can, it is easy for us to identify the true north in the site. So definitely this will help us how to orient the building with respect to east and north. So basically all the people who know about the basic importance of Vastu, they used to prefer the north direction or the east direction. But it is not like that we should not select the south or west. That could also be recommended. But the general mindset of any people, they prefer to go for north or east. So that is the main reason why we have to identify the north and to orient the building with respect to the north direction. In the first method, let me go to the site and we have to go for a small circle for a radius of 2 meter on the ground. The ground has to be a flat enough ground. So 2 meter radius we have to draw on the ground, and we have to place a vertical stick exactly at the center of the circle. So we have to verify that whether the stick is exactly a vertical one. So that is the first thing. Then exactly on by 8 o'clock in the early morning, we have to mark the shadow of that particular stick which falls on the circle. So that is the first mark we have to point out. Then by evening 5 o'clock, we have to see that the shadow will be in the opposite direction, that is, it is towards the east. So the shadow which points on the circle, we have to mark it as 1A. Then the same thing has to be continued in the next day, that is on the next day early by 8 o'clock we have to mark the shadow which falls on the circle, which will be in the western side of that point, that is center point. So that point we used to call as a 2. Then similarly by that same evening 5 o'clock, we have to identify the shadow which falls on the circle. So in the eastern side of that particular center point, so that may be named as 2A. So now we are having 4 points on the circle, that is 1A, 2, 2A. So let me go and join this 1 to 1A and 2 to 2A. So we will get a parallel line here. So with that parallel line, from the center of the circle we have to draw a perpendicular line to the parallel lines. We have to draw a perpendicular line from the center of a circle to that parallel line. So that particular perpendicular line gives you the exact true north. So this is the first method to identify the exact north, that is true north in the site. Then in the second method, it is a very simple one. Similarly, we have to place a circle, a point on the ground, and we have to place a stick on that particular point, and around by 8 or 9 o'clock we have to find the tip of the that stick shadow which falls on the ground. Let me mark it as a point. That point is named as west. Then after a gap of 15 minutes, you could find the tip of that particular stick shadow will be somewhat towards eastern side. So exactly by 15 minutes or 20 minutes, we have to mark the next point. So that point may be named as a east. Now, with respect to the west point and with respect to east point, we have to draw a line. Once we draw a line, then after that, to that line, we have to go for a perpendicular line. With the help of some other method, we can go for drawing a perpendicular line to that particular east and west point. So that perpendicular line gives you the exact, that is a true north in the site. So these are the two very simple methods which we used to follow in the site to identify the true north in the site. So I hope this will be much helpful to you. Let me join in the next video. Thank you.